In this video, I'm going to show you 4 things you can do right now to improve your hip mobility. Hip mobility is really important, especially if you want to do like bending, crouching activities. So if you have to bend down to get something, get down on the floor and play with your kids and your grandkids or your dog, get up and down stairs, really important joints to make sure they're moving properly. Also, if you don't have normal motion here, it's going to affect your lower lumbar spine, which is where we see a lot of injuries in our patient population. So first one I'm going to show you is a deep squat hold. So what you're going to do is find something that's not going to run away from you, a door frame, kitchen table, banister, something you can kind of support your weight with, and then we're going to get down into a deep squat. Now remember with this movement, 3 rules: toe straight ahead, knees out, feet stay on the ground. So from here, you're going to get down into a deep squat position. If you can't get all the way down, get down as far as you can go and try to work the different corners of this hip joint. And what does that mean? That means shifting your hips side to side, front to back, remembering that you got to keep your feet down on the ground. So finding different areas. If you find a spot that doesn't feel that good, feel a little bit more pressure than others, then kind of hang out there for a little bit. By getting down into that position, I like to go for 10 minutes, okay? But it's gonna take you a while to work up to that if you haven't done this before. So just doing a couple minutes throughout the day is gonna be really helpful to get these hips to move a little bit more. Next one I'm gonna show you is what we call a 90-90 position. So this will work on hip, internal and external rotation, which is really important for total range of motion, but kind of getting down into this position where your front leg is bent and you're kind of sitting, but you can see I need to work on my hip mobility. I'm kind of shifted this way a little bit. That's okay. If you have enough range of motion to get to here, working on this motion to try to get to here and then further upright. People that have really good hip range of motion can sit upright here, unsupported without any trouble at all. If you're down here, that's okay. You've got to start somewhere. Just kind of work, and the more you do this, the better you'll get at maintaining an upright posture when you're in this position. And then of course you're going to switch sides. So you just kind of bend in this position, and now we're working on internal external rotation in the opposite position. So again, hanging out here, kind of like that squat stretch, is going to be really important. Staying in the position for as long as you can tolerate, and then kind of coming off of it. Just set a timer for a couple minutes, try to work up to 10 minutes of that, and that will help improve your hip range of motion. Another one, for my people out there that have done some yoga classes, which is great, I'm gonna get you into a child's pose. So just kind of kneeling on the ground, knees spread out, hands out in front of you, and now kind of shifting hips back to try to get them to the back of your heel. And you can kind of play around with the angle. So the wider you go with your hips, you'll feel that in a little bit different area. More narrow, you'll feel that in a little bit different area. Changing the angle of this foot, so if the feet are right behind the knees, that's gonna feel different than if you turn them out a little bit. That will put a little bit more pressure on the insides of the hips. So again, same thing, just kind of shifting weight and trying to get those hips back towards your heels as far as you can is gonna improve that hip range of motion. Okay, the last motion I'm going to show you to try to improve range of motion in your hip is what's called pigeon pose. So you're going to kind of almost look similar to that 90-90 position that we were working on, except with this back leg, what you're going to do is get that straight behind you, and from here, you're just trying to sink your hip down towards the ground as far as you can go. Now, some people will be able to get their hips right down to the ground, okay? But I can't do that, so I've got to work on my hip mobility. Start where you're at. So from here, if I'm leaning here a little bit, I'm trying to get that hip down towards the ground. I don't have it there yet, but I'm feeling a stretch in the back side of the hip. If you're feeling a stretch in the back side of the hip, then that's going to help you out improving your external range of motion on that side. And then of course, you're going to do that on the other side. If you like this content, then look below in the description. There's going to be other resources to help you out with your hip range of motion. Also, if you want more content like this, all you got to do is like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you'll get more information about mobility, strength, and balance that's going to help you with your limitations. All right, guys, as always, just keep moving.